welcome to my channel. My name's Dawn, I'm the Reclusive Crafter, and it's Mishmash Monday. And today I want to do a couple of inserts for the front and back cover of the Vintage Blue Hues Journal. I have come across this old file folder, which was gifted to me by my sister-in-law. And I thought I would make use of this because actually if I was to cut this down, it would make quite a nice flippy insert for both the inside cover and inside of the back cover as well, to give you extra sort of storage for your bits and pieces. So this is what I'm going to do with this. I want to just measure how big. Sorry, just bear with me. So I've got as far as this. Okay, I haven't finished it yet. Clearly it's still in its working stages, but I do need to do a little bit of measuring because I need to know how big I want the insert. So looking at this, I think the insert wants to be about 5.5. So let me just scribble that down on a bit of scrappy Runio. So we want the width at 5.5 inches, which for those of you that are metric and working in oh, do I want it 5.5? That might be a bit wide actually. I might go 5.25 because when I put it on I want to cover up these holes because I didn't do them very well. So I want to make sure whatever size this is, it's going to fit and cover up the horrors. Yeah, I think I will. I think I'm going to go with 2 at 5.5, and then the depth. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 8 3/4 on the depth. So 8 3/4 on the depth. Let's have a look and see what that looks like. Okay, how are we all doing on this Monday morning? I'm just getting my cutter. I've lost the cutter blade. Where has it gone? There it is. Okay, so yeah, Monday morning, we're back into the swing, aren't we? So I'm going to cut the width off first, and I don't know if it's going to cut all through this in one go. So 5.5, and I chose this because obviously it's blue, Vintage Blue Hues, got to go with the flow. Has that cut all the way through? Very nearly. Okay, let me just trim that little bit there. Trim. Okay, so let's have a look for width. What does that look like? I think that is going to be perfect. Yeah, very happy with that. And as you can see, what we've got is this rather nice little flippity-doo-dah going on. Flippity-doo-dah. Okay, and I want 2 of those. So I'm going to go with 5.5 from this side. So 5.5 on that side. Give it a good scotch up. Thick, thick, thick. And again, very nearly cut all the way through. Just that tiny little bit there that didn't catch. There we go. Right, and then I've got this for anything that I need to bodge. Oh dear. Right, so those are the 2 main parts. Now, I'm going to just separate this little bit here out because I don't want this full gusset here. It's too wide. But I do want to keep one of those because it'll help to seal it up, I think, is my thought. Let's have a look-sees. looksy doos. So I want to cut that there. Now then, let's cut that there. And then I can use that as the fold up for the gusset. And again, I'm going to cut this bit off here. I could use scissors to do it, to be fair, but I think I might get a truer cut if I just try and do it with this. I'm hoping, if I can get it in. Come on. There we go. I'll just get that cut down there. Okay, I'm not sure I'm going to use that. It's a bit small. And then that'll go over there. That'll go over there. Turn that round. Pop that on there, which still gives me that gusset on that side. So I don't need that gusset, do I? Now then, I'm just wondering if I don't know how I want to do this. Yeah, if we do that, and then that'll go in there, that'll go on there. I think that'll work, won't it? I think I might have been better off not to cut that off, to be fair. But I just don't like how bulky this is. Does it really matter? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to cut this bit off, and then I'm going to miter the corners and stick this bit on and see what it looks like. That's what I'm going to do, folks. Okay, so if this now goes on there, like so, try and square it up. That'll come down, then that'll lift up, and that'll give you the pocket there. And do I like it? I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to tidy it up a little bit. I'll take that bit off of there. Miter that corner. That one's already mitered. Do they need to miter that one a little bit more than it is? And miter that one there. And then that one, so that will marry up nicely. And then this one just needs to be trimmed down there, I think. How does that work? Let's have a look, see. Have I trimmed it enough? Not really. I'm just trying to reduce the bulk a little bit, is what I'm aiming to achieve. There we go. I think that works. And then I will put a thumb notch in here. Okay. But before I put the thumb notch in, I want to cover this with what I'm going to be using. Or do I? Do I? No, I can put the thumb notch in now. Let me just get the centre point, which is there. So thumb notch there, lovely. Lovely. I'm going to put some ink around. Just to brighten up those edges and frame it. Right, and the other thing is, do I want to just round those edges there? I think I might. I could be making a mistake here, but who knows? If you don't try it, you never know, do you? I'm going to round these edges. Get those little bits out of the way. Yeah, I think that actually looks nicer with the edges rounded. I'm going to have to take a little bit more off of here because I've rounded that edge. So if I come down to about there, I think. There we go. That should now work quite nicely, I think. Yeah, perfect. That's better. That just tidies that up very nicely, doesn't it? So come in with a bit of ink around those corners there. Lovely. A little bit more ink around there. I want to give it a right good ink in. Okay. Nice. Righty ho. That's that little bit done. Let me get that out of the way and pop that in there. Right. And now I should just be able to, or do I want to put some backing on here first? Yeah. 1, 2. I'm going to ink this all the way around. Okay, now I need to decide what I want to put in the back here. I have printed off some of this rather beautiful paper, but I want to use this on the outside because it's just gorgeous, isn't it? And why wouldn't you want to use it? So I'm using that for the outside. And I would like, if I can find them, there is one piece. That would be quite nice. I could use up some of the book, couldn't I? And what would that look like in there? That's actually quite nice, isn't it, with that lovely mottled effect? I am going to ink that little section there as well, because I'm going to be leaving a slight border around that. And then that looks really, again, I did mention this on Saturday's video, I think it was, in that this is a very, very pale blue. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it's like a mottled blue effect. And I'd really like to use some of this because this actually came out of the book. So I think this would be lovely to make use of in here. That's what I'm going to do. So let me take that off of there if I can get it off without doing too much damage. Am I going to get it off? I don't know. I don't want to rip the page because obviously if I rip it, I'm not going to end up being able to use it. There we go. I think we're getting there. What am I ripping on the other side? Let me check that I'm not ripping anything that I would like to make use of. There we go, it's coming away now. Got it. Lovely. Okay. So be-do. 5 3/8 in width. 1, 2, 3. So that would go there. Okay. This just gets rid of that messy bit, which I am throwing away. And then I did say 5, didn't I? But I think I could just use the whole blooming thing in there, couldn't I? Just trim it off slightly. That looks lovely, doesn't it? I really like that. I think I will, you know. I don't think I'm going to mess about with this too much. I'm going to take off, literally, I think a centimetre might do it, just to confuse the issue, or even half an inch. I'm going to take off half an inch, put that little bit in my scrapperoons. And now that fits in there beautifully. And then when that goes over, that's going to go on there like that. Okay. Oh, I forget to breathe when I'm thinking. Wear myself out. Okay. Sorry, I just had a coughing fit. I had to chop that bit out. Right then. So I'm going to stick this bit in first because am I? It doesn't really. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to stick that bit in first. Dear me. Okay. Let's pop this piece on first. I do love to repurpose things. I get really excited at the prospect of turning something useful into something that could have otherwise have just been thrown away. I get a huge buzz out of it, to be fair. I am a little bit odd. Well, I don't know if I am odd, actually. Just making sure that lines up there. Those line up there. Give it a scoochie woochie woo. And lovely jubbly jubbly. Jubbly jubbly jubbly. Perfect. Okay. So, and then these bits will come in and that will go over there like that to make my pocket. Yes, and now I want to glue this piece in here. That'll look just splendiferous. Let me grab a bit of... Where's my glue gone? It was here just a minute ago. I've hidden it under all my rubbish. Right, I'm going to glue on this side because I've got a little bit of a mess going on here. Okay, and I'm just using glue stick to pop this on because it is only paper to paper. I mean, sorry, I'm a bit croaky again this morning. I don't know why. I had a lovely day yesterday. I went out with my son yesterday and Paisley, who you've all met now, and his wife, and we went and did some shopping. Spent an absolute fortune, but had a lovely day. It was really nice. Went to IKEA again, and we did some food shopping as well in a big hypermarket, which was lovely, and had a really good day. So I hope you all had a lovely weekend too. Is that straight? I can't see. Sorry, bear with me. Just want to get this nice and straight. There we go. That is absolutely perfect, isn't it? Right, I don't like that. I just noticed the ink came off of that a little bit, so I'm throwing that little bit of glue paper away. Okay, and now we can close that up. Okay, I'm going to pop some glue on there. I've just noticed I need a new glue stick, so I'll grab one of those in just a second as well. Put a goodly amount of glue there. And a goodly amount of glue there. Now then, I've done that and I've just had a thought. So I want to very carefully wipe this glue off for now. I am still going to be gluing it down there, but I've just had a thought of what I want to do first before I get to that stage, because I want to do some closures. And if I glue that on now, it's going to make it very awkward to do the closure. So I'm going to do the closure first. So what I was thinking is put the cover on here first is what I need to do. So again, just thinking out loud. So that's 5.5. So 5 and I said 5 and 3/8, didn't I? So that also wants to be 5 and 3/8 in width. So 5 and 1, 2, 3. So that wants to be 5 and 3/8 there. Just make sure that's straight. Okay. Well, I got that width. Okay, yes, I have. Happy with that width. And then needs to be 5 in depth is what I'm reckoning. Now then, which is going to be the better way round on this? 5 would give me that. I'm just looking at the design on the paper to see what my preference is. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. So 5 there. So that is perfect, lovely. And then I'm going to put the thumb notch in. Centre point is there. And if I do this properly, it should just come underneath the other thumb notch. There. And that is not quite perfect, is it? Let me just take a little bit more. Whoops a daisy, let me just take a bit more out of that. It's not quite perfect. Right, so I want to take a bit more off of that side. So if I come in about there possibly, that's better. Okay, maybe just a marginally fraction more. Perfect, I'm happy with that. Okay, I do want to put a little bit more ink on that though. And I want to, around these corners. Oh, it didn't do it, did it? That's the trouble when you're working with thinner paper. Sometimes your tools don't want to play. There we go, perfect. And then this one. There we go, super duper. Now then, I don't want to ink around this piece because there is already ink around the main cardstock. So I'm just going to stick that on there. I'm just going to grab my glasses as well because I can't see if that's lining up properly, is it? So I'm happy with how that aligns. That bottom is just not quite right. So I'm going to take just the tiniest little slither off of there because it's not lining up quite how I want it. As you can see, just the tiniest little slither. But does that now line up how I want it to? Yeah, that's perfect. Great. Love it when a plan comes together, don't you? Glooby dooby doo books. Where's all my glue books gone? There's one, I think. Is that one? Yes, it is. I've got 1,000,001 glue books in my room. You wouldn't think I would have issues finding them, to be fair. Right, I do need to get a new glue stick. Scooch myself back into my desk. Okay, now I'm going to glue this one down. Ooh, fell off the edge. Do you know, I've got a huge desk now and I still work on just a tiny, tiny little space and end up with the rest of the desk in an absolute chaotic mess. So going to the extra cost of buying a lovely, lovely new desk, and I'm just not using it to its full potential. Is that just me, or does every crafter do that? You end up working in this tiny, tiny little space and everything around you is just chaos. Okay, let's pop this bit on. And again, I'm getting double vision on this. Am I happy with that positioning? Not really, actually, to be perfectly honest. Am I going to get that up without ripping it? Oh gosh, who knows? Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let me just get this done. No, 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 no. We're not doing rippies. Right, let's try that one again. Let's try lining it up at the bottom first. Oh, I'm so rubbish at lining things up how I want them. Seriously. Oh, that's rubbish as well. Dawn, sort your life out. Right, I'm really sorry, but my head is going to be in this shot because I really want to get this lined up nicely. Right, there we go. I'm sorry if my head got in the way there, but I did want that just properly lined up there. Okay, that's very nice. Phew. Now then, do I want to put anything on that side? Because I haven't got enough of that blue to be able to do both pockets, top and bottom. Right, what I want to do, I want to put a closure on this. I thought I'd go with a little round closure. And if I... Okay, I've got this cardstock left here. I wonder if my hole punch will be kind to me, because my hole punches are not terrific. Is that going to be big enough? I think so. Let me have a look and see how big this is. So, is that going to be big enough? Am I going to be happy with that? Or do I want the next size up? Let me have a look at the next size up. There we go. Right, so we can either have that, or we can have that. I don't think I've got anything in between those two sizes. I'm going to go with that size. So I want another. Oh, sorry, I'm being indecisive. I know, I'm sorry. But I think I am going to go with the bigger one. I'm going to cut a few more of those out. Gosh, they're hard to get through. Another one. That's that one. I'm not really sure I want them as thick as that, actually. I'm going to go with 3 on each, and then a little bit of a coverage on it. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, now then, what I want to do with this, I'm going to put a little eyelet closure on it. Going with that. Oh, that's nowhere near the blooming centre, is it? That's pathetic. That's a bit better, I think. I don't know if this is going to work now. Yeah, it will. It'll work, Dawn. Right. Now then, I now need to work out where I want this. So, 5 1/2 is 2 3/4. So 2 3/4 is about there. Now then, is that going to be okay? Yeah, that works. That works. I'm going to have to use my big boy though, because I can't get the can't get it over there, can I? Okay, what are we doing here? I need a hill. Hill. There. Is that the right one? Yes, it is. Okay, where's my mark there? Okay. Right then. So if I pop that in there, I want to stick those two bits together first, don't I? Okay. All will become clear in a moment. Pop a little bit of ink round. Okay. Pop that in there and pop that through there. Is it making sense yet, folks? Is that on? I can't see. There, got it. Okay. Give it a squash. Perfect. Okay. And now going to cut that there and punch that out there. That was lucky, it actually punched. And now I'm going to glue that onto there. Pop that on there. Lovely. And pop a little bit of ink around that. And now glue that on top. Then that way you won't see the hole. That's my thought. Okay. Now pop that on there. Do I, or do I want to pop it there? I think I'll pop it there actually. That looks quite nice. There we go. Okay, happy with that. I could have gone to the trouble of matching it all in, but you know what? Life's too short sometimes. Okay, so that's that. So that's going to be the little bit that you put the string around. And now I can glue that down. Is it beginning to make sense yet, folks? I don't know that it is, to be fair. And there will not be time for me to make the second one of these, but at least I have shown you the idea behind what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. Now that is going to come over there and stick closed there. That looks fab. I'm really happy with that so far. Okay. Working well. Right, I need to decide what I'm going to put on. Oh, I've just had a marvellous thought of what can go there. that from the book. That would work beautifully, wouldn't it? On the inside of there. Love that idea. That's quite cute, isn't it? And then that's a tribute to the book that I've used to do this little project. Lovely. Just need to take that little pencil mark off of there. Right. So that's that one in situ. It doesn't look straight, does it? Or is that my eyes again? It is not straight, unless this folder's crooked, I don't know. So again, I'm going to take a marginal smidgen off of this edge again. And line it up. That's better. Happier with that. Right, so that's ready to go on there. And now I need to put on my little closure on here. So this one might not be quite so difficult. How far in does that go? Okay, let's take that down to there. Big punchy holey bit. About there. Okay. Jolly good. Now I want some more of these. So I want another 2 of these. 1 and 2 of those. Stick these ones together. Now that I know what I'm doing. Okay. Stick those 2 together. A little bit of ink. Okay. Punch in the middle. Hi, diddle diddle. Let's pretend we can find the middle. Somewhere around there. My goodness me. Okay. Does that look about right? Am I using the right hole? I'm not even using the right hole. Goodness me. That's too high. Up there, maybe. Well, that's probably better than the other effort, I suppose. Right then, so now that's going to go on there. Oh, that was intelligent. I should have stuck this bit on first, shouldn't I? Oh, silly me. Oh, silly me. Okay. And you'd think I would know this by now. 5 and 3/8. I want the width. 5 and 1, 2, 3. There we go. And the depth. Honestly, look at the state of my desk. Okay, so we've got 6, just marginally under 6. So that would be marginally under 5 7/8. So I reckon about there should do it. And that's just about perfect. That's lovely. Okay, round my edges. Find something else to use as a corner edger. There we go. Right then, what way round does that go? So I want to do that corner there. And that corner there. Nearly there, folks. Okay. That will now go on there. That looks lovely. Yep, very happy with that. Let's glue this one down. Sorry, I've gone really quiet, haven't I? I do apologise. The thing when I'm doing this sort of thing is because they are so bespoke, it's not something I can practice and then come on and show you how to do it. You know, I literally get one chance at this and that's it. So I have to do it in real time and I have to show you it warts and all, because otherwise you wouldn't get to see the process. Yeah, so it does make it a little bit difficult sometimes, and I appreciate that this is not everybody's cup of tea. You know, some people just like to just watch the polished version, I guess you'd call it, wouldn't they? Right, now like a donut, I did that before I did the other one, or before I stuck that on. So I need to pop that back through there, like so. Okay, that'll do nicely. And then bring that up there, pop my little grommetus in. What did I do with my little roundy bit? There it is. Pop that in there, if I can get it through the hole. And then, are we on the right bit? Yes, we are. Can't see. There we go. Okay. Squash that down. Perfect. And then, can I get that? I can. Haha, perfect. Oops. The paper's got stuck. Are you going to come out of there, or are you just going to sit there all day? There we go. Okay. Right, I did ink around that. Where's my other little... There it is. That's what we want. Stick that on there. like so. Pop a little bit of ink round. And stick that on there. And I think I will go that way with that one. Okay. So that is my two little closures on. I'm going to use some of this embroidery thread as the stringy bit, if I can find the end of it. Where's the end of it? There. That won't pull out. Why won't that pull out? What's going on? Should just pull out of there. There we go. Okay. So when I pop that round there, tie it off, and tie it off. And I'm going to give it one more little tie just to be on the safe side. Clip that off so that it can't be seen, like so. Bring that round there. I might put a button or something on the end there, I don't know yet. Bring that up there, and that down there. And then I'm going to cut that off maybe about there for now. Okay, so that's the closure bit done. The only bit now left to do, let me undo that, is just stick my little Emma on there. Where's she gone? She's here, look. And then that's going to go on there, and then that will be ready to go in the front. How blooming perfect is that? One of the file pockets done. That will come down there. Am I going to put any more decoration on this? I might put a little bit of lace on it, perhaps. I'll give it a bit of thought. But now this, let me just pull out the actual journal cover. Now that will sit in there. That's gorgeous, isn't it? Very happy with that. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'm going to move on and do this one. Might put a little bit of lace on here, might not. I don't know at the moment. But I need to get the second one done. And then, yeah, we can finish getting the cover finished and get it all together ready for hopefully showing you it on Wednesday. So have a lovely week. Take care. And I'll look forward to seeing you all for No Waste Wednesday. Bye for now.